What's up, everybody? Welcome to the page. We are going to go through a workout today with Angie is here, first fit model, overall champion. We are prepping right now for Tokyo, Japan for that first pro card. They are exactly 2 weeks out from that show.
2 weeks.
So we are gonna show you guys the type of training that we do, how we switched it up differently from when we were doing bikini to what we are doing now for fit model, and how we build that winning physique. So let's go.
Let's do it. Can you talk for me? You do so.
Let's get it.
15. So I keep my legs straight.
Yeah. So we are gonna completely I wanna keep the knees straight so that we can keep this handle as low to the legs as possible, right? You want that to come down as low as you can, because what we really want to focus on is lower lats. A lot of people are confused, right, with bikini and these divisions fit model. We want a nice taper. How do you create a taper? A little bit more width in the back, lower lat taper, gives the illusion of the smaller waist. And that's how we focus on it. So when you're training, keeping that bar low, hands low, gonna focus more on your lower lat. So we're starting off 15 reps. We're gonna do 2 sets of 15 to start with. Today's split, I believe in doing a well-rounded workout, right? So we're gonna attack the muscle in every direction, every angle. So we're gonna do 15 rep sets, a little more high volume. We're gonna do a nice heavy working set of 10. We're gonna do a drop set to really tax the muscles. And then we're gonna finish off with a time under tension, you know, a 3 second up, 3 second down set, so that we can really, really engage that muscle and finish it off. We're gonna do that on every exercise today. All right, we're gonna bump the weight up. Hold on, that was a little light, so second set, bumping the weight up a little bit. Another 15 reps. You always want to make sure you start out a little lighter on that first set to get warmed up. It's cold, it's winter, it's raining. We got to avoid injury, especially when you're old like me. I do like I drive here the whole way with the heater on. A little lower with your hands, a little lower with the hands. There you go. Bring them here, towards the legs. Pull in and down. There you go. As you get tired, people have a tendency to start lifting up and pulling that bar a lot higher. Once you start doing that, you're starting to work a little bit more of the traps, upper back here, which you're trying to avoid. So hands lower, lower, lower. You want that bar to touch you right at the hips. Did you guys coordinate these outfits today? Yeah, they're matching.
Last minute.
What is this color? Just
Like a tan.
Yeah,
taupe?
Well, he had to get
Wow, you know that.
look at that.
Something about wearing sexy work, but this thing stuck cutting.
He knows taupe. I didn't know taupe. I didn't
Tan
know.
and taupe. Tan and
I love
taupe.
it.
I had no idea
Tan and
taupe was a
Tan
thing.
and taupe.
All right, this set, we're bumping it up. This is gonna be a 10 rep heavy working set. On here, the form, I'm not as strict on these sets. Don't believe everything you see on TikTok and shit, guys. Your form doesn't always, all the form Nazis. Sometimes you just gotta pull some heavy shit. Good.
Still trying to keep it low. Do you want this one low still?
We
Heavyweight?
want it low, but here's the thing: is as we start going up in the weight, sometimes the form is going to sacrifice a little bit, and we know that going in, right? So Sometimes you just have to do some heavy working sets to be able to break through plateaus, to get those muscles to just that central nervous system to know what it feels like to handle that heavier weight. But it's all about progress week to week. So 2-3 weeks from now, that same weight that was heavy for 10, we'll be doing for 15, right? And it's just constantly making that progress. If you're not pushing yourself in the gym, you're not gonna get results. So a lot of people, you know, they're in the gym, they have their routine, you know, they go, well, I do this weight for set 1, I do this, and you see him at LA Fitness, the guy does 1 plate on the bench, then 2 plates, then he does 3 plates, and then he goes on. And he's been doing the same thing for 25 years, and he's looked the same for 25 years because there's been no challenge, right? You have to recruit new muscle fiber, right? And the only way to recruit new muscle fiber is to do things that your body is not used to doing, right? So you can do it by increasing repetitions, by changing tempo, or the easiest way is by increasing workload. Increased workload by increasing weight is going to cause your body to recruit muscle fibers that it wasn't using before, right? And that's the whole science behind bodybuilding. It's pretty damn simple, honestly. People are over science bodybuilding. Yeah, there's a lot of those scientists coach out there. I go on track record.
But even like on like TikTok and Instagram, you have one saying don't do this, and then you have another person saying no, that's wrong, you need to do this.
You know,
so I think it's confusing for a lot of, 30 for lower?
So we're doing the drop set now. So our 30 rep drop is gonna be 10, 10, 10 on the drop. What set are you girls on right now? Last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're starting with our heavy set, the same weight we did on our heavy set. And 10, drop it, and boom. Another 10. 6. That's 8. 9. One more, and then bring it down, and we got 10 more. Back to that warm-up weight, but it doesn't feel like warm-up weight now after you've done 20 reps. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. There's your 30 rep drop set. How'd that feel?
My arms are gonna fall off already. My back. Feels good. I like drop sets.
So all these people out there that are, you know, I read a lot of these comments. People are really don't know what to think yet about this fit model division. Everybody knows I put it out there. I'm a huge fan of this division for many reasons. Bringing the femininity back to our sport is reason number 1. Aside from that, I got you, Ro. I got you.
Thank you, Coach.
So the main thing is with this sport is that I'm hearing a lot of these comments like, oh, anybody on the beach looks like this. Or, you know, I've seen girls in strip clubs that look like this. And it's so disrespectful the way that these people are approaching this. We've been training Angie and we've been training together for over 10 years, hard, just like this. Every day, we're in the gym. We're on at least a 5-day-a-week training split year-round. Individual body parts, training just like I would train any of my men's physique pros. Same workouts. The difference is it's no supplementation, no extras involved in order. We're not anabolic, right? So, that being said, these girls are athletes, man. They train like athletes. And this body is not just achievable by waking up and God's genetics, right? This is a lot of hard work. These girls put in a lot of work, same hard dieting that we would do for any of these divisions. And for all the people out there, it's always the ones on the internet that I see. It's this little troll on the internet who's talking about, oh, I see girls on the beach and strip clubs like that. You have never had a girl in your life that looks like that ever even talk to you. So, come on, man, let's be real. All right, 5th set is the tempo set. All right, so we're on with the lightest weight, so you're back on here. You're here, we got one more. So it's a 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, right? So it's nice and slow, 1, 2, 3, hold, and it's a 1, 2, 3 on a negative. That's till failure. This set is gonna be till failure.
Okay.
And then Ryan, if you could describe the difference between their divisions.
Sure. So we have the different, so right now you see Rosana is training. I have a whole group here. We got 5 different girls that are training right now. I've always done a group training setting. I believe that the iron sharpens iron, that's what sets up for the most success, having people that are like-minded, supporting, pushing each other. Also, a little friendly competition amongst the team. Everybody wants to be the greatest. We have girls that are in different divisions. Abby over here has been, turned pro, has her IFBB pro card in figure, and then now has come back into the bikini division. Rosana just turned pro this year in 2024, winning the USA, Masters USA overall in bikini. And I am converting Tracy and Lauren both to the fit model division. Keep going, keep going. Slower, slower. 1, 2, 3, and then slow, a lot slower. So pull it slow, slow. 1, 2, 3, and squeeze, and then 1, 2, 3. That's the tempo. That's the tempo all the way in, all the way out. And that big squeeze, keep contracted. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you got one more. You got another one. Slow squeeze in. Good. Let it out slow. Good. The difference in these two divisions is the amount of muscularity you can see between the two, especially because they're wearing the same outfit. You can really see the difference, right? Rosana has a lot more muscle maturity, a lot more muscle development. A lot of that has to do with genetics, time you've had in the game of training. Angie has always been a great bikini competitor. We've won multiple overalls in bikini, but to get to that next level of the IFBB Pro card, the feedback has always been, we need a little bit more muscle. Now, for a lot of people, to obtain that kind of muscularity, we need to introduce some foreign substances in order for these people to develop that level of muscle maturity. And for a lot of people, that's just not a direction they want to go. And me and Angie have had that talk. That's not a look that she wants to have. So having this new division has created a home for somebody who has been dedicated to their fitness journey for several years and now has an opportunity to have that IFBB Pro card status and be competitive while staying natural. And that's why I'm such a fan of this division. Squeeze, nice and slow. Squeeze, little slower, little slower, little slower, especially on the negative. Especially on the way out. 1, 2, 3. Good. Squeeze. One more. Good. So if you were to look at these two girls side by side, let's do it. Let's put you side by side here. Hit your front poses, right? So you can see it's very apparent between the two. Both are lean, both have great shape, but the level of muscularity, the difference of the size of the quads and the hamstring development, all those things are definitely, that's the difference between those two divisions, right? Both have to have a low percentage of body fat. Both of them have to have great conditioning. Both have good diets, but the difference is the level of muscularity between the two divisions and the level of hardness. What they want in the fit model division is developed glutes, but they don't want any hard tie-ins, right? So they don't want the separation between the glute and the hamstring. They don't want to see those tie-ins. They want the developed glutes. They don't want it soft. You know, when you turn around, if you see the first fit model show was it was a very close battle between Emily and Angie. The difference that the judges said is when they turn around to the back, that when they walked them, that Angie's glutes did not move. She had a little bit more development back there in the glutes, which was the difference between the two, right? So there's a fine balance between staying soft enough, but still having that development. And how do you get that? It's not by staying softer with more body fat. It's just not going extremes with depleting the water and all those other things that we would do for the other divisions, right? So keeping the muscles a little bit more full so that we don't have that extreme level of conditioning from that thin skin of being dehydrated and everything else. So it's a real fine balance to find for that stage. So right now I have Angie checking her weight daily with me in the morning to make sure we don't come down too far, to make sure we don't go too far up. We're in a good spot right now where I just want to maintain this for the next 2 weeks until Tokyo, and nothing extreme.
Yeah. Which is easier
Is it easier?
compared to
Well, here's the
Bikini
perfect
yoga.
person to ask. What do you think the difference between the two?
I think, well, competing in bikini, you know, you need to come down to looking more solid. You know, like Rosana is very solid. So you have to cut down the
So 15,
water,
then 15,
the sodium, so many
then the
different
10,
variations.
and then the drop is the
peak
same
week
direction
to
down. So
attain
you should
that
go
look
15 and then
get
a
your
heavier
muscles to pop.
15, then a really heavy
Peak-
10,
or
and
fit
then
model,
10, 10, 10 on those.
It's different. It's
And then
different
the
peak
tempo.
week. We don't cut out the sodium. We don't cut out. We limit the water, but it's not to where you're drinking like 10 ounces that day. So it's
It's a dry look.
yeah,
Bikini's
it's a
definitely
different
dry
look.
Yeah, but here's the difference also, that you, Angie, are a little bit different than most people. I'm currently eating less carbs than you are, trying to get lean. So I'm doing this stupid diet with Jason because I don't know why. I promised him I would. So I'm on 0 carbs, right? If I put you on 0 carbs, you disappear.
Yeah.
So everybody's metabolism, don't let anybody lie to you. Genetics plays a huge role into our sport. And everybody's metabolism is different. You have 4 kids, a 1-year-old at home. And with a 1-year-old at home and it's already looking like this, probably gonna be ready to get that pro card here. And that's just because, number 1, you work hard. Number 2, genetics play a big role into your metabolism.
Yeah.
Let's just be real, you're eating on glute days and lower body days, she's eating 200 grams of carbs. We're still having bagels in the diet. Her lowest carb days are 100 grams of carbs. The fats are at 50, right? So by no means are we starving, but that is low for her because some of the highest days we had you on were like 500 grams.
Yeah. 450, 475, we were pushing 500. And my body loved it. It kept so every body is so different, and that's why Ryan's so special, because he's able to see what does good with your body, and then like Rosana, she might have a different reaction. So that's why it's so important to have a coach who knows what he's doing and knows what works for your body and works for someone else's body, especially with different divisions.
My elementary school teachers told me I was special too. I don't know. It's it. Why do I hear that my whole life? Ryan's just special.
Not in the school system. That's
Oh,
a
okay.
different.
Just
That's a
checking.
different kind.
Just
special.
clarifying.
So is this one wide?
15.
arm?
Yep, wide grip. That's actually a little too wide for you. Bring your hands in a little bit onto that bend. Right there. That's perfect. Come on. 2. Again, 15 rep set. It's a warm-up set. So, like I said, guys, what we're focusing on today is lower lat development, so we can really, really work on that V-taper, creating that illusion. Bodybuilding is just an illusion sport, guys. So everything we do is to create the illusion of a smaller waist, the illusion of rounder glutes, and all those things can be changed by, you got to be very critical, self-critical, when you're getting ready for a show, or have a coach who's very critical, right? Who's going to pick apart those body parts. Nobody has a perfect physique. Nobody. In the history of the Mr. Olympia, nobody has had ever a perfect score or won every single pose. What you need to do as an athlete is to be able to look at your body, understand where your strengths are, Try to put more distance between you and the other athletes in the areas that you know you are stronger at, and then decrease the difference in the areas where you know you are lacking, right? You don't have to win every pose. You just have to make sure that you are decreasing that difference. Some girl may have better glutes, and they're always gonna have better glutes because genetically their glutes are better. There's
I like
other
this
areas
one
though
'cause
that
it
you
keeps
have
you
your strong
upright
points that we know
compared
we
to
can
the one
take
back
them
there.
in. Rosana has always needed a little bit more glute development, but we get her conditioning so good and that it shows so much separation that it really mutes the fact that her glutes need a little bit more fullness. But when she turned pro, there were girls on stage with better glutes. But Ro as a complete package, because of the skin tone, the level of conditioning, and the level of balance that she has in the other body parts, outweighed the fact that this girl may have just better glutes, right? There's several categories when they're judging this: shape, conditioning, and symmetry, right? So we have one thing that needs a little bit more, but we create the balance in everywhere else in the body and really, really hone in on that conditioning. And we can beat those athletes that may have a little more genetically gifted in a single body part, right? So you just have to focus on those weak spots and then really, really put the nail in the coffin on the body parts that you know that you can really shine, right? You gotta work to your strengths. Perfect example, that was Amanda Latona, right? Amanda Latona was one of the most winning bikini pros in the early era of bikini, which would be fit model. She'd be amazing for fit model. Didn't have the smallest waist, never had the greatest physique, but her stage presence and the way that she portrayed, she knew she had great glutes. So the way that she posed and the way that she drew attention to her strengths, it outshined everybody else on stage. Good. Come on, man. I like when the music's off that everybody whispers. You don't have to whisper. You can talk still. Good.
We're talking about you. We're here.
10 reps set. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. Good.
Oh,
Good.
heavy.
I can see the form Nazis coming out already, right? Like I said, guys, on those heavy, heavy sets, on that heavy 10, we're not being super, super particular on a little bit of a rock or a little bit of a swing. This is just to force those muscle fibers to be uncomfortable, right? To recruiting new muscle fibers. We focus on the time under tension sets. The form is perfect. Like I said, I believe in tackling this from every angle, so we're leaving no stones unturned when we're training a body part. So, drop set.
10.
10, 10, 10. You also notice the pace of this workout, guys. I believe in keeping the pace up. Training partners are great. Sets a good tone. You get the proper amount of rest, but not too much rest. I'm gonna drop it down there. We all see them in the gym. You see the guys in the gym. They do their one set. They could have had 3 meals before they do their second set.
Too much time in between.
If you're a power lifter, I get it. Right.
So
Oh,
how
you
much
got 10
time?
more. You got 10 more.
Oh, man.
Come on, that was just 20.
So like a minute in between? Or 90
Honestly,
seconds?
the better your fitness level gets, the shorter time you need between, right? So the main thing that you want to focus on when I'm watching you girls train is I'm looking at your breathing. Right now, you guys are both so conditioned. You do a lot of cardio. You're used to training this way with me. Neither of you are breathing hard. What you want to make sure is a lot of people confuse training quick for training hard. The biggest indicator to that is your breathing, right? What we want to make sure is that you've had enough oxygen back in the muscle so that the muscle can perform what it needs to do till failure of muscle failure, not cardio failure, right? So if you're training too quickly, where you're breathing hard and your blood is not oxygenated, then the muscles are giving out because it's not the muscles that are failing, it is the cardio fatigue, right? So as soon as the oxygen's gone out of that muscle, out of the blood, boom, then all of a sudden you hit that wall and it's done, right? So you'll see a lot of people, they're in the gym and they do it and they're trying to train too quickly, trying to do these giant sets all the time. They never actually really went into muscle failure because their cardio was failing before the muscle, right? So, but I'm watching your breathing. If you're not in here panting and breathing hard, boom, we're good. We can go right into the next set. If you were laboring in your breathing, I would take a little bit more time so that you can actually perform. You're gonna get more benefit out of going into muscle fatigue versus cardio fatigue. Save the cardio for the treadmill.
So in terms of training, Angie and I, so Bikini and Fit model, there's not a big difference between the two. It's the same.
Yeah, no, I train them all together. I mean, really the biggest difference would be how we manipulate the diet, especially in the final phases of a prep, right? We're all gonna do a calorie deficit type of diet. I like to carb cycle. Everybody knows I use a carb cycling program. But you're gonna be at a deficit in order to lose body fat. How far of a deficit is the difference, right? Good. Along with the amount of muscle also comes along with how much strength. If you see on here, I made your start weight 20 pounds heavier than Angie's was right now on this one. You have a little more muscle, you got a little bit more strength. Good, 10 more. Let's see, Angie has a very balanced physique, so the way that we're training is because we've been training for many years to create that balance. If we had a certain body part on Angie that was more dominant, well, like you're a perfect example, Ro. You've always been quad dominant.
Yes.
So when's the last time we trained just quads?
We haven't.
We don't, right? I'm not gonna push your body through a workout like this on your quads because we know that you tend to grow quads very easily, right? So we've been focusing more on glute and hamstring. And anytime that we are doing leg movements, I'm finding ways to eliminate as much as possible the use of your quad in the movement and putting all that focus into the glute and hamstring, right? So prioritizing your training, the good part with somebody like Angie, she's very balanced. So we can train everything equally as hard. Like I said, she's got more of the body style that's harder for her to build muscle mass. So we train everything equally, everything hard. With you, I modify those exercises a little bit so that when we're doing leg press, we're not working the quads. I'm positioning you with your heels a little higher, different stances, and different ranges of motion to make sure that the quads aren't being engaged and that it's mainly hamstrings. Now, that being said, you can't do a leg press and completely get rid of the quads, but we can prioritize in the way that we're positioning to make sure that we're targeting what we're trying to target, and then we don't go as heavy on those motions.
And it's made a difference because it's rare that my glutes are sore the next day or the third. So the way we've been training lately, my hamstrings are sore, my glutes are sore. So it's working. And if I were to do a comparison, like a 3-month comparison of my glutes, which I should post that pretty soon, big difference in 3 months. So
If you post your glute comparisons, it'll get a lot of likes.
I will do that.
Yeah,
I will do that.
we should do
We're here
glute.
for the likes.
That's all we care about. Just like me. just want to be liked.
But people like that. I think especially women, we like to see the difference in training and how it affects each part.
Yes.
Because for you, it took a little more time with your glutes. It's so easy with her quads. So seeing that difference, even if it's like, you know, slight, which it's not, it's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
People notice that and then they say, well, how are you training? What are you doing different?
I'll post it.
Man,
Yes.
if you, as a coach, if you could build Asian glutes, you are the shit.
I need you to help me build my glutes, Ryan.
I got you, bro.
Right now you got chicken nuggets.
I know, he was kind of caked. I saw him, he's caked up, man. It's 3 up, 3 down. Three up, 3 down. Nice and slow, good contraction. Perfect form on these. 1, 2, 3, good squeeze. Nice and slow, let it out.
Looking good, Ann.
I'm a big fan of finishing off with these time under tension sets. So you see when we're training how well-rounded, it's some higher volume, some heavy, and some really, really time under tension. That way we're covering every angle. You got more.
How many more?
You're still,
Till failure?
you can still talk, so you got more. Squeeze. One more. There we go. I can see it. Perfect.
I'm shaking.
I don't want to. Should we film just a couple more clips from it? Because how long do we want this video?
Well, it's not going to be one long shot. Like, I can always dice it up. So, how many more back movements?
1.
Yeah, that's fine.
1 more back. And then shoulder. I don't need to get the shoulder. Yeah. I'm over it already. Hey, it's a necessary evil. You go start on side laterals. We're gonna do the exact same split. Okay. All right, so probably start 10s, 15s, then 20s. Yeah. Come on, bro.
Oh, not on me, bro. Because you got the better monitor. I'm over here like trying to look in the little monitor. That's it. I'm ordering one. It's so much easier to see it this way. Cheater.
Let's get it, bro. One more. Good squeeze. So everybody's asking, a lot of people want to know, even the girls saying, when do you know when you're done with like that tempo sets? And you'll see as you start to get tired on lat pull downs, start to roll forward. As soon as that form's starting to fail, that means we're no longer using those muscles that we're trying to, and that's when we hit that muscle failure, right? So once that form starts to go from chest up to rolling forward, that's when we know, cut it.
That makes sense.
Do you feel buff? I kind of feel buff right now.
A little bit. Not compared to you, though. I feel buff until I get next to her.
Who's supposed to oil these machines? God damn. Ooh, fuck. You're supposed to maintain these machines, man. This thing's sticky.
You know what? We need to call the owner.
We should call the owner. Fuck. Pullovers. You ready? So another one of my favorite exercises, you'll see we're targeting mainly that lower lat. This whole workout for back is a rope pullover. Lean it forward a little more. I want you bent over more. Big stretch, so I want you to get that at the top. There we go. This exercise is great for those lower lats. You can see it here that they're being stretched and then contracted. I love using the rope to do these because you get a little bit more of a range of motion than you would with the bar. What we're looking for on here is that that chest is up and that we're pulling. As soon as you start rounding forward is when that exercise is done. Pull. Good. Most important part of this movement, guys, is that big stretch, right? So leaning into it so we can get that big pull in the lats and then that full contraction at the bottom. Full range of motion on every exercise is always important. With row, one of the main focuses this whole off season has been to grow the glutes and to grow the lower lat. She's got plenty of arms and shoulders and legs. So these are the two priorities for us. Yeah. Good. Perfect row. Good, Angie.
I can feel my shoulders rounding.
You can feel it. She can feel it. Roll it. Yep, there it goes. You're good. So the cool part, though, about this division is I knew when it first got introduced, let's go way back to 2008 when they first did the fit model search, which was the Flex Bikini model search. At that time, I had a little bit of involvement in that, in the organizing of that first event. And the criteria what they're looking for this fit model division is very similar to the look of that early era of bikini. And inevitably, the longer divisions around, we see the evolution of it. So trying to bring it back to that, it's kind of what we did with classic physique, right? Bringing in classic brings back that classic look of bodybuilding, which became very popular. I know that the popularity for this division is gonna skyrocket. Very rare opportunity ever to be the first of anything, right? So I knew I wanted to throw Angie in. The day that it came out, I called her. I saw it at like 9:30 that night. They put the announcement. I called her at 10 and I said, "You're gonna do this." And she said, "Okay, let's do it." And we had just had the discussion about she wanted to take a year off to focus on putting on more size so she can get that pro card in bikini. Now with this division, I said, no, we're competing. It is 4 weeks from now. And so we did a 4-week prep, which is a testament to what kind of the shape she maintains throughout the year. And we jumped straight into that first one and won that coveted first fit model overall, first one in the world. So there's been a lot of eyes, a lot of attention, right? Well, what a better face to be the face. I mean, let's be real. Like, this is the face, right? And so now going to Tokyo, Japan, I saw that that was the first pro card, and we were going to go, we're not going to go compete for the first. We are going to Tokyo, Japan to get the first IFBB pro card in this division. And it's time to set the tone, right? So a lot of people out there with opinions on how to train, how to do this. I'm a veteran in this division because I was around when it started back in 2008 with the posing, with the dieting, with everything that it takes to create that look. In those years, I was very dominant with a lot of the top girls from, it was Michelle Terziak, who won the Flex Model Search, and Courtney Prather, and, Heather Clay, and my ex Taylor, who was one of those early IFBB pro cards and Olympians in bikini. And I know exactly what those judges are looking for, and it's going to be fun. Keep up, guys. You got to keep up. Come on. Set the tone, Angie. We're setting the tone.
The first ever pro card of this division is in 2 weeks. So there's going to be so many people watching. It's like Ryan said, how many times is it going to be the first opportunity to be the pro in a new division? It's like 2 weeks.
See, I'm old enough to be around to see the first of many things, which is, I don't know if that's good. But to be able to be a part of anything, to be the first of something is a very special moment that you will forever be the first fit model champion. So now we have to go grab that pro card and be the first IFBB pro. That'd be a serious honor, right? To walk around with that title.
Yeah, that's always our end goal. Is
shout out to the MPC and IFBB. Tyler Mannion, the vice president, young entrepreneur, young business mind, to have the insight to seeing the direction that this sport needs to go. And he's really leading us into the future. A little bit of what we did for a back workout, how we are preparing to get ready for that first pro card. If you guys want to continue to see the journey of what it takes, the posing, the dieting, we're going to put it all out there. We're going to show you what it requires to not only be a busy mother of 4, how to maintain being also a wife, and how to get the time in to work for that coveted IFBB pro card. And hopefully in 2 weeks from now, that video will be back here with the trophy. And thanks for watching, guys.